You okay?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You are a mess.
Oh man.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I think everyone probably joining us tonight feels the same way as
Yeah.
well.
There's already a comment about it. Even before the
All
episode
right, I
started.
see it now. Clark, is anyone else having a hard time walking after today's massacre? That was bad. In fact, we named this episode A Giant Problem. And it was named that before the game 4 was finished. I kind of thought maybe they'd still get one. I didn't expect that. Clark says, "No, Justin, he isn't okay. We were just hit by a train." Yeah. It was rough. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm Justin. If you're new to the show,
I'm Cortland.
that's Cortland. He's really upset. I'm really upset too. I'm just laughing at his despair. And this is episode 9 of Better Off Red, your weekly Reds talk show.
We're just off.
We are just off. I texted him before. Yeah, I texted him before the show and I said, I don't even feel excited about today. It's the first time this has happened. It's probably been the worst week of Reds baseball, but we are your weekly Reds talk show. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting apps. Live shows air every Thursday at 8:30. If you're here right now, you know that. But recordings are made available on Facebook and YouTube. And then audio recordings are made available about an hour after the show ends on your favorite podcasting app. Clark with the comment of the night already.
Zingers.
Better off dead today.
Absolute zingers.
I think it's fair to say. So that's our plug for the show. Cortland, how have you been?
Well, not bad, but obviously not great. It was just a terrible 2 series to watch. Like we talked before, we're going to get into all the gory details of both series, but even the wins we did get were very ugly. So, yeah, my week has been great. Baseball-wise, it's been absolutely terrible. So, how about you?
Yeah, it's been a pretty decent week. Just hanging out, working, and playing a lot of MLB The Show still. I'm going to the Reds game.
Gives you some hope.
It does, because the Reds, whenever I play with them, they don't suck. I'm going to the Reds game this weekend, so I'm excited about that. Going to Kings Island on Sunday. I'm excited about that. Nice. And I think you and I are golfing Monday morning, so I'm excited about that too.
Oh, yeah? I forgot about that.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
No, Cortland's not golfing. Just a rough... I mean, our predictions could not have been more wrong. I mean, they went up against a pitiful bottom of the NL West Rockies team, which the NL West is tough, but like they're still 15-29. Then they went up against the Giants, who are at the top of the NL West, but like, I mean, I still think that they should at least picked up 2 wins in a 4-game series. I mean, their pitching has been dominant, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. So let's start with the. Hang on. That's Clark says, I don't even drink and I'm having a beer. Oh, no. You've turned Clark into an alcoholic. And Clark also says, our head's going to roll after these last 2 series. I mean, I don't know. If it involves spending money, Castellini's probably not going to do it. I'm a bit upset about Moustakas, too, because Moustakas got hurt and they didn't start him, but they kept letting him pinch hit and then subbed him in defensively. And for what? Like, I don't think he hit any hits as a pinch hitter. And then today they put him on the IL. And since they let him play like here and there, little spot pinch hit opportunities, they can't backdate it to the first day he was injured. So just completely mismanaged. And I don't know who that falls on. I don't know. I don't think that would be David Bell, but maybe
everybody's blaming. Yeah.
So that's the thing. I actually saw Lance McAllister. Lance McAllister had a really good post earlier. I'm not logged into Facebook, but he said something like, he's like, it must feel pretty good to own a team that's only had like 4 successful seasons in 20 years, and everyone's directing their blame and hate and anger at the manager. Yeah, and I'm like, no, I blame Castellini. I think it's all him. Didn't get a shortstop, gave away Raisel Iglesias. Hasn't done anything. I mean, he'll pick up a few people here and there when it's convenient, but like he doesn't commit to building a winning team. He commits to building a team that will attract just enough attention to put fans in the stands and buy merchandise.
And we kind of thought this year was going to be a little bit different with bringing the people up that we did bring up from our organization. You thought kind of, okay, like maybe this is the time where we're going to bring these names in and then sign a couple people. Because in the beginning, I mean, we were all super optimistic. And I think the potential's still there, but we are going to have to fix the problems that are obvious, like shortstop. I mean, it's just not working with the way that we're doing it. It's working good enough on occasion, but consistency is not there, and we need consistency more than anything.
And like we've seen games where the starting pitching is phenomenal. We've seen games where the bullpen is phenomenal. We've seen games where the hitting is phenomenal, but rarely are they consistently phenomenal. And it's almost like they're never phenomenal on the same night.
No.
It's like one night, like Wade Miley's no hitter. They didn't score a run until the ninth. Was it the ninth inning? I think. And then some days they score, maybe put up like 10 runs, but then they give up 11. I mean, it's just such a dumb team right now. Like I'm just so frustrated. Clark says, I'm really disappointed, or Gino has really let me down. Hey, I'm wearing a Gino jersey today. He actually is not letting me down at the moment. I'm pretty happy with his turnaround. I feel like he is turning it around, but he is still.
We talked about that last week. Like he did so bad, it's hard to look and see that he's doing as much better as he is.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he still takes a lot of crappy swings, but I mean, he hit number 9 today, which was cool. Only 41 to go. Clark also says it's a really good point. Maybe we are fools for still making it a profitable business venture for Castellini. Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, I can't give it up, but yeah, someone stronger than me might be able to. So let's jump into the first series, Reds at Rockies. And I got to tell you, my blood pressure, I think, was just elevated the entire Rocky series. Was yours?
Yeah, it was bad. Well, like it wasn't at first, but then, like we said, everything was ugly. The first game, it was just an absolute blowout for the longest time. But then we make a push. And then, then you're nervous. You're like, okay, maybe we can. And you're watching it with super high anticipation. And it doesn't pan out, and then you're just let down. So blood pressure goes up, blood pressure goes down, blood pressure goes up, blood pressure goes down.
It just felt like a really stressful series.
Yeah.
And the pitching took a beating. They had a 6.32 ERA for the entire series, which is not good. Just rough.
Almost impossible to win with a 6.32 ERA in the series.
Yeah. So the Reds lose. They lose game 1, 8-13, which, like Cortland just said, it was a slugfest pretty much. Castillo gets beat up again. He went 3 2/3, 10 hits, 8 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. The bullpen came in, gave up 5 more runs, and only struck out 1. Romano and Hendricks both got by without giving up any runs in this game. Like I said, the Reds did score 8 runs. That happened on 12 hits. The game was 8-0 Rockies going into the 8th inning. So like I'd already turned the game off. I'm not going to lie. And they just had this offensive explosion and they scored all 8 runs in the 8th inning. Unfortunately, they couldn't do anything else with that, and they gave up more runs after that. But Stevenson and India both homered. Castellanos had 2 hits on the night. Castellanos he's looked great all year.
Right.
He swings at a lot of crappy pitches too, but like it doesn't matter because a lot of times he ends up hitting him. Like he'll like loop him into like shallow right field.
Or he'll hold the guy up for 8 pitches in his count. I mean, he's doing a good job of wearing down pitchers if he doesn't make the good connection.
Drew says, I didn't get to watch the game live today, and I'm glad. Not enough beer to drown out the misery. I agree. Clark says, see, I guess that's my point. We get 14 runs against 1 or 2, but we can't get a single one that will tie or win a close game. Yeah. That's just this team, I think. Yeah. It's all or nothing with them on every aspect of the game.
It is insane to me that Castillo is just doing what he's doing. It's just, I don't know. When do we say he's not that good? Because
we'll talk about that here in a minute.
I mean, it's just 3.2 innings pitched with 8 runs, and every game that he's done that, it seems every game that he has done that, we have had a last inning or close to last inning resurgence, and have come super close, and the bats have gotten super hot, and we score like, what was it in the first series against the Cardinals? We scored 6 and like close to the last inning after they were up by like 9-0 and it ended up being like 11-6. Like we can do it, but he's just giving up so many runs. It's just crazy. I don't know what to say about it other than it's just crazy.
there are signs that Castillo is about to turn it around. I'll talk about that when we get to the Giants series.
Okay.
You want to talk about game 2?
Yeah. So game 2, Reds lose 6-9, so not as bad. Wade Miley, after coming off the week that he had before and having a no-no, he kind of got beat up in this game. He had 3 innings pitched. He kind of did worse than Castillo. He had 3 innings pitched, 11 hits, 8 runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks. But the bullpen came out in this one. Like we said, all the wishy-washiness that we have with this team, the bullpen comes in this game and was dominant. They pitched 5 innings. There was 4 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. So there we go. Starting pitcher sucked again. Bullpen comes in, turns it around. Indy and Suarez both homer. So that's 2 back-to-back games. Indy homered. He kind of made a little bit of a resurgence through this rough series, as we said. And Barnhart and Nakayama both get a pair of hits in this game. So the bats were still looking pretty good. We just could not finish strong enough. We were down too much after the Wade Miley 8 runs. So
yeah, Akiyama's starting to heat up, which is nice.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, Drew says, I say the Reds boycott or make up a lie that the airplane is down due to maintenance when they travel out west. I don't know when they go west again, actually. That's a good question. Hopefully not for a while, because they do not fare well out west. Game 3, the Reds do turn it around. In game 3, they win this one 6-5. Tyler Mahle. So all these notes are written before today's game. But Tyler Mahle was brilliant in this game. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. Antone comes in and pitches 2 with no hits and 3 strikeouts. Castellanos and Farmer both homer, and both of them had 3 hits in this game. Farmer's actually, it's kind of funny. I kind of built him up last week, and then he's kind of slowed down quite a bit. I even picked him up in my fantasy team. But then I think I dropped him very quickly after that because he just wasn't doing anything. But yeah, they do win game 3, 6-5. So
in the notes, because you made that comment before Tyler Mahle pitched today, Justin put Tyler Mahle is brilliant as always. That was the note.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. How about you take game 4?
So we win another one. We win game 4, 7-6. Hoffman comes in. He didn't get a revenge game like he kind of hoped for. He goes 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. So not great. The bullpen didn't allow a run, though. So they made up. He didn't do that bad enough as a starting pitcher to give it away. It was still very close, but the bullpen came in and kind of saved him. They didn't allow a run. They struck out 5. And Amir Garrett is back in this game. He goes for 1 inning with his 2 Ks, no hits or walks. We're looking forward to hopefully making some apology videos for Amir Garrett if he can keep it up. He's kind of winning back that closing style role that he wants to get, and if he can do it like this, hey, we'll make all the apology videos in the world. I know Drew is very excited to make an apology video for Amir Garrett.
I heard that Drew is the president of the Amir Garrett fan club.
Yeah.
Oh no, Drew was quick on that one. He says absolutely not. Dang, he had that ready.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're wishy-washy, like we said. But no Reds hit any homers in this game, so that was a little bit different than the previous games of the series. But 9 total hits, including 3 from Akiyama. Like we said, he was heating up, and it's good to see him kind of coming back from the injury like he has. He has a .240 batting average on the year. So
it's actually down to 214 after today.
But we'll today's just, I think we'll just forget about. I don't know
today's
if that game really counts towards the record.
We'll just wipe out of our memory.
Yeah, didn't happen. So he's 240 on the year. We'll just stick with that. So that's it. We take 2 against the Rockies. I think everybody was very optimistic that we would at least get 3, maybe get all 4.
It was considered a winning road trip. They won.
So it didn't turn out like we planned, but we go into Giants and we were going to be a little less optimistic than we were with the Rockies. And I don't think we thought it was going to be as bad as it was. So to start off the series, Reds lose game 1, 6-3. Not terrible. This is not bad.
Going to Alexander here. Alexander says sharing bats is key for them instead of relying on 2 to 3 hitters. Yeah.
That's
been a problem all year. is, yeah, they may get a few hits sprinkled throughout the lineup here and there, but nothing happens. But like, it's the same like three guys that just keep raking.
And when they, oh my gosh, can you imagine when they go cold? Like, can you imagine if they all go cold at the exact same time?
It'll be awful. Clark says his daughter's class is nicknamed Suarez El Chokio. Well, I don't like that.
I think they got a lot of Cubs fans. I'm pretty
they
sure
do. Dirty Cubs fans.
Yeah, they're
all
not.
Right. All right, Cortland, take us down this trail of despair.
Okay, so game one again, 6-3. Not terrible. This is kind of optimistic after the Rockies series. Gray comes in, he pitches. He doesn't do awful. He doesn't do great. He goes 5 innings with 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Not great. Not too great, but not too terrible. Bullpen gave up 3 more hits and 2 runs, so that's where it kind of hurt us in this. They get 3 walks as well and 4 strikeouts. Naquin and Suarez both homer, and weaker Castellanos and Naquin and Suarez all get 2 hits in this game. So we're kind of talking like we said. There's 4 guys rather than a couple. I mean, but it's not consistent. They are doing it a little too late, especially in games that we're close enough to win. The bullpen, I think that's where this fell apart. I think if the bullpen could have came down and shut it down like they did in the last couple games of the Rockies, we might have got this one. But that's just how we are. We can say it all night. That's just the way we are. It's the way we roll. What about game 2, sir?
Well, so game 2 kicks off the first of 3 remaining games against the Giants in this series, where the Reds are going to face off against former Reds starting pitchers. So game 2, they face off against Anthony DeSclafani, whose time here was he was not. I don't really feel like he was appreciated by fans when he was here. I feel like I've seen a lot of people say on Twitter saying, "I wish he was back."
Right.
He's having a great year. He was always injured, typically with us. And he hasn't had those problems yet. I hope he does, and I hope he's successful.
Yeah.
But they did take on DeSclafani for game 2. They lost that game 2-4. Castillo, I'm going to say this is Castillo's turnaround game. And if you look at just the basic stats, you may not see it. 5 innings with 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, but he had 11 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He also, his velocity on his fastball, I think they said was 97, 98, which is higher than it's been all year. He also had 21 swinging strikes, which is back to what it used to be when he was dominant. He also was putting more faith in his changeup. He had started to abandon it a little bit. His changeup is his best pitch, but he was throwing it and he was getting guys out with it. So I'm really, really hoping that this is kind of the bounce back game for Castillo. I'm hoping by this time next week, we're like, dang, Castillo went 8 innings with no runs and whatever. Who knows? He could go 3 innings with 20 runs. I mean, with him, who knows? But I'm really thinking that this was his turnaround game. Winker did. Yeah,
I was gonna say I'm a little bit more or less enthused because he kind of did this in the beginning of the season too. He had a lot of strikeouts after the very first game where he kind of blew up. He was getting a ton of strikeouts. Now 3 runs is not nearly as bad as 6. Like I think his ERA is still hovering.
It's like a 7 right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, the 3 runs is a good step in the right direction. I'm not the strikeout guy. So I see 11 strikeouts. Yes. Free pizza from La Rosa's. Count me in. But when you can't do 11 strikeouts and 3 or less runs every time that you throw 11 strikeouts, then I don't care about the strikeouts.
Well, it was also the velocity, because his velocity has not been there, and the swinging strikes. Right. I think his last outing, I think he only had like 7 swinging strikes, which is like little league pitcher. I mean, it's just not. You want that number to be higher. So
they just know they don't have to worry about hitting. And if he can get him swinging.
I saw something on Twitter the other day where someone was comparing pitches from like last year and this year, and it kind of looked like he had changed his arm delivery and maybe he was even tipping his pitches. So hopefully he's fixed whatever it was, and I'm taking this as a win. I absolutely am. So Clark
against
says,
this team, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Clark says maybe we are being unfair. Votto being out could be more damaging than we know. Yeah. I mean, there's Votto being out, Moose now out. Lorenzen out, even Aquino, who, I mean, I think the team thinks he's a bigger part of the team than like I do,
Right.
as far as impact goes. But I mean, they've got a lot of like major injuries, people out right now. Otto
With that,
definitely, I think the biggest.
it's way bigger of an impact than I think we thought. But the thing that still sucks, I mean, now maybe if Suarez was still at short, then from the time that Votto was hurt till now, like if Votto didn't get hurt and Suarez stayed at shortstop and India stayed at second base, then maybe we would think, all right, Gino's the dude for shortstop. Like he has proved it. It kind of sucks
that short.
Well, where we abandoned it for a little bit and then we've kept switching in and out. I didn't think we would switch as many people around as we have. We will talk about that later.
Yeah, we've got that in the notes.
But that's the crazy part about it. You would never think that Votto being on a first base that he's been on forever would be that big of a hindrance to how we place people in the infield. We'll get into that later. But yeah, that's a good comment. I like that. So all right. Continue. We didn't get into the batting of game 2.
Oh, I didn't know where I left off. So Winker did open the game up with a home run in the first inning, and Castellanos did try to spark something in the 8th, but with another homer, but it just wasn't enough. Both of those two gentlemen had 2 hits on the night as well. Man, when Winker hit that home run in the first, I thought, yeah, this is what we need. Just start off and just start hitting dingers, and then they just didn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Game 3. Portland.
Game 3. We lose another against another former Red, Kevin Gausman. He did pretty good for them. We don't have his stats, but he threw a pretty good game. They were talking about, I believe, there's some statistic that him and Bumgarner and a dude from like 1906 only had like game-wise pitching for the Giants. Like it was some crazy record that he was doing while he was pitching. So we lose this game. We lose 0-4. We get shut out in this. We only managed 3 hits, so we didn't give him a no-hitter. But the 3 hits were from Castellanos, Stevenson, and Barnhart. Miley pitched again. He goes 4.2 innings pitched. He has 6 hits, 1 run, 2 Ks. Not a ton of strikeouts, but he only gave up 1 run. In terms of having 6 hits, that's not bad. So that's good to see him pick up the production again after the game that he had given up 8. We get Sims, Garrett, and Felice coming in to relieve. They did really well, all 3 of them. And then we have Fulmer who came in and he gave up 3 more runs on 2 hits and 2 walks. So he kind of crapped the bed. We did not have the bats, obviously. In this game, like we have been having through this entire series with the Rockies and the Giants. So that's what screwed us. I think 4 runs was manageable. If we were hitting as good as we were in the previous games, I think we could have got this one. Another one that was close enough we could have got. It just sucks because the Giants are really good. I'm not trying to take away how good they are and how rough we are being right now. I'm happy to see that we were only losing by a couple of runs after getting thumped by a team that was much worse than them. So it means that we can play. We just got to get everything figured out. So that's pretty much all there was of this. Not a lot of hitting. The pitching was much better from Miley and the bullpen other than Fulmer. So a step in the right direction. Then do you want to take this? Do we just want to delete this part or do we want to?
No, I think we need to talk about it. We can't erase history like this.
All right. So game 4.
Yeah.
Game 4.
Do you want me to go? You want me to take it?
You can take it because I'm sure we're going to talk about it both.
All right. So, yeah, we don't want to talk about this one. The Reds just get destroyed on YouTube, no less. This game will be free game of the week on YouTube, which I have to say, I was not a fan of the YouTube broadcast. The audio was bad and just their production wasn't that great.
I liked the chat thing. That was very cool.
Yeah. I did try to go in there and chat, and you had to be approved.
Really?
Yeah. It's like we weren't approved.
Wow. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. So, yeah, my boy Tyler Malley, he's going golfing with us on Monday.
Great as always. I'll remind everybody that was in quotes. Great as always.
It wasn't great. It was brilliant as
Oh,
always.
sorry, brilliant as always. Even better.
So
Brilliant
to be fair, Malley has been the most consistent pitcher, and
yeah,
I'm not defending him. He pitched horribly, his worst of the year by far. But to be fair, every other start except for like one has been amazing.
Right.
So
right.
2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Yeah, that's not what you expect when you see Tyler Malley listed as the starting pitcher. Then if you didn't think his 7 runs were enough, the bullpen gave up 12 more. So, they said, you know what? Hold my beer.
Hey.
Yeah.
There is a silver lining to this.
I would love to hear it.
They were consistent. The starting pitcher gave up a lot of runs and the bullpen gave up a lot of runs. We didn't have the starting pitcher giving up 7 and the bullpen coming in throwing a no-hitter pretty much. They both gave up a lot of runs. Hey, step in the right direction. Yeah. Now we just got to flip the script and they have to do it and throw strikes and get outs rather than runs.
Hopefully they do that Saturday when I'm there.
A real bonding moment, but I didn't notice that. So, hey, from the optimist of the Better Off Reds duo, stick that feather in your cap. Maybe it'll come back and give us a little bit of luck.
I would like to say the last time I went to a Reds game, which was when Castellanos owned the Cardinals, it started a 7-game winning streak. So maybe.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
Clark says, did you kiss Manfred's feet like you should have this week? Then you would have been able to comment. I did not, and I'm not going to.
Zing.
He sucks. Oh, we didn't talk about Castellanos and the fan in Colorado.
Oh, yeah. What did he say to him?
Good. The fan. So Castellanos, after the game, just like, I guess he talked to this fan. The fan said something to him. Then after the game, Jim Day's trying to talk to Castellanos. Castellanos just hands the mic to this random guy that he was talking to throughout the game. And the guy's like, yeah, I told him to imagine Rob Manfred's face on that baseball, and then he crushed it. I love he's a legend. And you could tell Jim Day was so uncomfortable, like, we're on live TV here. Like, don't say anything you shouldn't say. All right, back to game 4. I know we're trying to avoid it. 10 hits, including Suarez's 9th homer. Like I said, 41 more to go to 50. It's his goal. Oh gosh, my favorite bullpen arm did get his 4th appearance today. One Alex Blandino
throwing gas.
Went 1 1/3 with 1 hit, 1 unearned run, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and he hit 90 miles per hour on his fastball. I love it. And then as he left, the crowd was cheering, and like he tipped his cap to the crowd, and I loved it. I was like, "This is amazing."
Get 19-4, and you get the crowd cheering. That's awesome.
I love it, and I hope that they're beating the Brewers so bad on Saturday that Blandino gets to just come in and pitch for fun.
Yep.
I hope they're up by like 20, and Blandino's like, I'm going to close this game out. Let's go. So that's the end of that series, and the Reds are now 3-7 over their last 10 games. Which is not good.
No.
Not good at all. So Clark had a comment earlier, and I was saving it for this next part. He says, "You guys feel like our batting order is as effective as it could be?" And I got to be honest with you, this batting order this week has been nutty. Stevenson in cleanup, Stevenson in 3rd, moving Suarez down. I think they moved Barnhart up. I think Senzel's done lead off a couple times. I think Naquin's done lead off a couple times. It's been super inconsistent, but I think Castellanos at 2nd is probably the only staple of the lineup. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know if we could decide if it's as effective as it can be with the issues we're having with people playing in so many random positions right now. Yeah. That kind of leads us into this segment. It's a good reason why we saved this comment. It's obviously, I think the bats were good. I don't think the order is the problem. It's not knowing who's going to be where when and having to mix it up. I don't think it's a thing of like they're trying to switch around the order to see what's better and to see what happens. They just don't know what's going on. They just don't have an idea as to how this team should operate in the infield. And they're just like, okay, we have this guy starting here today. Let's put him at the top of the lineup and see what happens. I think they're just kind of throwing darts at the wall. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. The Justin, get us started on this. Get it. You typed a lot out on this,
I
so
did.
let's talk about it.
So I've actually I don't know how productive it's been. I mean, the Reds have been losing a lot of games, so maybe not productive at all. But I got to be honest, it's been fun to watch. The infield, they're kind of playing like infield musical chairs, infield roulette, whatever you want to call it. Over the last week, we've seen Senzel at second base, at third base, seen Suarez at short and third. Stevenson was taking, or he actually started at first base. I think was it 1 or 2 games, maybe just one.
I think one. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, and it's great to see these players, even if they're like, obviously they're a professional baseball team. They need to win games and put the best possible player in that position. But like, so maybe Stevenson at first wasn't the best thing to do. But when Moose is hurt and Farmer and Blandino aren't really hitting that well, and Stevenson is, maybe you swap an error for 2 hits. I don't know. But it's been really fun to watch. It seems like David Bell's maybe having fun making it too. And Senzel in the infield. I knew he came up as an infielder, but dang, watching him at third the other day, he made like a Roland-esque play the other day.
Yeah.
Like he just came in, barehanded it, and tossed it to first. And I was like, dang, that's slick. Suarez is looking good at short. I'm glad that they're moving him back there. I mean, if you're not going to go out and sign or trade for an actual shortstop, you might as well keep Suarez there. They've still been a lot of talk about Trevor Story, and maybe that's just because they were in Colorado this week.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to sell the farm to get him, but I mean, unless he's going to stay, because I think he's a free agent after this year, and he's going to get a lot of money. And like you said earlier, Castellini's just not going to pay any money to anybody.
Right.
But yeah, it's been interesting. Like I said, we've seen, Blandino, we've seen Farmer, we've seen Stevenson at first, India, Senzel at second, Suarez, Farmer at short, and then Suarez and Senzel at third. So it's been kind of all over the place.
Pull up that comment.
Read it out loud, Cortland.
So Clark said, maybe it goes back to the whole Votto issue. He's been in the same spot for about a decade now. I think part of this could be, if we're not planning on going out and getting a future 10-year first baseman, they are probably trying to see who can fit where. I don't know if that's their plan with Blandino. I know he plays it a lot, but like, we'll see who they can bring up. I mean, I know we got prospects and stuff, but it is just kind of, what do you do when the guy has been there for 10 years in that one spot? You've got to fill the void. I know Votto is old, but he's still doing okay, at least this season, that we needed to kind of fill that void while he's injured. So yeah, throw Stevenson in there, especially if he is hitting good and the other guys aren't. It is just weird. It kind of throws a wrench into the whole thing. Plus, we don't have a shortstop. So that on top, if we had a solid shortstop and Votto just got hurt, I think you put one guy in to fill in for first base, and I don't think we see as much jumping around. But to fix both issues as much as you can without going out and paying a ton of money at the moment, that's kind of what you got to do. So it is interesting to see like how these guys do. And I will say, like you said, Senzel had to play at third. We've had some awesome defensive plays this week. Clark says, I do think Votto has been a class act and a team player, working with Moose and Stevenson, showing them how to play first. Yeah. I just think that's the guy that he is, and he'll go out being that guy.
Unlike Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yep, I went there. Yeah, because I think Votto ultimately wants to see this team win.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't care who's getting the playing time and who's getting the stats. I think he just wants to see the number in that win column go up, and that is why he is the best and will forever be the best. But yeah, I do hope Votto comes back soon. I don't know what happens when he does, because pretty soon you would think we've got Senzel, Moose, and Votto out with injury right now.
Yeah.
And that's for the last week has been 3/4 of the infield. So who gets moved around when Clark says Justin tough but fair on Rodgers? That's right. I mean, he's not doing that. He's trying to bail. This is a Red show, not a cheesehead show. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it's kind of like the outfield problem we had when Akiyama came back.
Yeah.
Except now it's in the infield whenever.
Right. Like the problem never really occurred like we thought it would. Like it just shifted into the infield when he came back because of Votto.
Man, I really like Senzel in the infield though.
Yeah.
Especially if Naquin's going to keep hitting. I mean, He looks good at second and third. He had, I think, one error at second that was pretty costly, but like at third base, he just looks like a seasoned veteran. So let's talk about the minor leagues because the minor league system is pretty promising. Hunter Green was named Double A Player of the Week, and it's because his last start he went 6 innings pitched with 3 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. Jose Garcia, I mean, this is the guy that literally is not on the team because he couldn't hit. He had it all defensively, but he could not hit. And so far, he's batting .327 off of 17 hits, 4 home runs, and 15 RBI. His on-base percentage is .390. And yeah, this is minor leagues. It's not major league pitching, but dang, I mean, the whole thing, the whole reason he's not here is because he couldn't hit. And
he wasn't doing it down there either. And he's turned it around. So
yeah. Nick Lodolo went 7 1/3 with 1 hit, 0 runs, 1 walk, and 11 strikeouts.
Man.
The broadcast team keeps talking about him too. MLB has his ETA listed as 2021, so maybe we'll see him here. I don't know if the Reds.
Yeah, that is 2 super solid pitchers. Gosh, that'd be nuts. If they were both up.
And then Tony Santian gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, and had 7 Ks in 6 innings pitched. So that is. Oh, I missed Austin Hedrick. He is now hitting .290 with 9 hits, 4 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. If you remember, I think last week we said his numbers were pretty terrible.
Yeah.
He's starting to turn around. That's baseball, though. You have one bad week, it looks like the world's ending. You turn around, have a couple good games, and you look like a superstar. Very weird sport. That's why we love it. Cortland.
All right.
Take us around the division to all these crappy teams that we do.
Yeah, let's jump into it after the 3-7 last 10 we've had. So St. Louis is still on top. They're 25-18. They're still doing good. They got swept by the Padres, and then they win a 2-game series against the Pirates. So they played one of the other really good teams and got swept. So that's good. But they play the Cubs this weekend. So sorry, Clark and Clark's daughter, but go Cubs, at least for this weekend, though we can cheer for them to beat St. Louis. I think Clark will get on board with that. I'm sure he'll chime in here in a second. But so that brings us to the Cubs. The Cubs won 2 of their 3 against Detroit, which Detroit's really bad right now. So I think that's expected. Then they won 3 out of 5 in Washington. That's kind of a little unexpected, I believe. I was wrong about Clark.
What did he say? Oh, he says I can't stomach that. That's funny.
We can just keep it to ourselves. We don't have to tell nobody. But so the Cubs go in and win 3 out of 5 in Washington. So they're now 22-21. They're 1 game above 500. So they're not doing as bad as they were a couple of weeks ago. So then it brings us to the Brewers. The Brewers were doing very hot for a while. They are 21-22 after losing 2 out of 3 to the Braves and then getting swept in the 2-game series against the Royals. So they went on a pretty rough little trip right there themselves. Then we have the Pirates, who are 17-25. They've won 2 out of 4 against the Giants, and then they got swept in 2 games against the Cardinals. No. Go Cubs, go. Now off to vomit. All right. Well, he did it. He did it. He did it for the division division losses. So we appreciate it. The Cardinals are kind of sitting on top by themselves at the moment. And we aren't too far away from the Pirates in last place. So we need some wins. I think second place and third are very doable still. St. Louis just keeps winning, other than against really, really good teams, and we're losing against them too. So that doesn't help us any.
So over the last 10 games, though, St. Louis is the only team with a winning record. They're 6-4. The Cubs are 5-5. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh 4-6, and the Reds 3-7. So the Reds are definitely trending down.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just hope they can get some good wins at home.
Yep.
Well, I guess just one series win at home, and then on the road in Washington, which Washington is bad.
Yes.
Which we'll talk about that here in a minute. Did you go through all the teams?
I did. So we didn't have anything in this. What?
Lightning McQueen over there.
Sorry. But we didn't have anything in this last segment or this segment last week. So why don't you update us on all the injuries?
Yeah, we've got a lot of injuries to talk about. So Senzel has missed his third straight game today with a sore knee. I'm guessing he'll be back this weekend. They haven't put him on the IL like they did Moose. And I mean, there hasn't really been any news, so I'm taking it no news is good news with him.
Right.
Moose, like I said earlier, was placed on the 10-day DL after being used in pinch hit situations, so they can't backdate his IL date. So I think they were able to backdate it to yesterday. So instead of just not letting him go like 0 for 3 in pinch hit situations, they now are going to lose him for like 3 additional days. So that's frustrating. And then Vada will have a follow-up x-ray to see how his thumb is healing. He has been running the bases and fielding. Michael Lorenzen, this is good news for the bullpen and maybe even the starting rotation, depending on how things go, has been cleared to begin throwing. And David Bell says that, very nice. I'm excited to see Lorenzen back out there. And then David Bell says that Aquino is progressing well, but does not have a timetable. And Clark says, in all fairness, if we get on some streaks and maybe sweep the Deadbirds a couple series, we could be in the thick of this by August. Yeah, I mean, baseball, like we said, is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
August is a long way away, so we could be on top of the division by 10 games. Who knows? I mean, you just never know.
Happen. I really hope that things shift our way soon. I mean, if it doesn't happen too soon, it's going to be a long summer. So that's all the news on the injury update. Cortland, take us to awards.
All right, to the weekly awards. Up first, and to add to what Clark said, he said, especially if we get some guys back. Yes, so if we can get a lot of these guys back that Justin just mentioned in our injury updates to fully healthy, we could have some consistency that we desperately need. So it would be fun to see once everybody gets back how well we can actually play with a full roster of guys that we know and like. But yeah, so into the weekly awards. First up, play of the week. Justin, what is your play of the week?
It was when Scott Rowland barehanded that grab.
Oh, wait. You mean Nick
Oh, yeah,
Senzel?
not Scott Rowland. My bad. Nick Senzel. They just look like Scott Rowland out there. A barehand grab and throw from third base to throw out Posey. I mean, it just looked so good.
Yeah.
I mean, just looks so freaking good. And I mean, heck, let him be third baseman. Let him be third baseman. I don't care.
I'm all for that. And two, India made his resurgence a little bit this week, and I was very happy to see. We had the play to end the game against the Rockies. It was the double play. Clark also agrees with Justin. He says that was very impressive, and I also agree with Clark. But the double play
chain going on over here.
Yeah, the double play to end the game against the Rockies that India caught. And he threw it to Suarez, and Suarez threw an absolute laser to turn the double play to end the game. And we only won that game by 1. So that play was freaking sweet. That ball was on a rope. That's probably the hardest I've ever seen Suarez throw a ball. That thing was a laser beam.
What do you think the state of the team is when both of our plays are defensive plays?
Well, the bats weren't bad either. I mean, we could have. I think we pick home runs a lot. So that's. I think it's good. I think it's good that we're seeing the defense with how much like ring around the rosy we're doing in the infield. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Clark wants us to all call India Jack Sparrow from now on. I think India would like that too.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. His walk-up music is so good.
Yes. All right. So now that we were talking about defensive plays for our plays of the week, into the offense, our hitters of the week. Justin, your hitter of the week.
Nicholas Castellanos, not including today's game. He is batting, actually, he's going to be bad. His batting average for the last week's going to be even higher because he went 2 for 2 today. But it was 500, not including today's game for the last week with 2 home runs and 4 RBI and 5 runs scored. Today he added another RBI to that. So, he went 2 for 2. I don't know math. I don't know how to do math. It's so hard telling what that actually will bump the weekly average up to. Yeah, it's 1,000%. But yeah, he's doing really well. So Castellanos is my pick right now, and I really don't want him to opt out after the year, but I think he probably will and get paid as he should.
Yeah, right, because we won't pay him. But the numbers aren't as impressive. But like I said, Jonathan India is back. He is my hitter of the week. Before today's game, He was batting throughout this series at 250 with 4 runs, 5 RBIs, and 2 home runs. So solid production from him after being in the slump for a little bit and not playing for a little bit. So I love to see it. They're letting him play, and I think that's what they need to do. I think they just need to put him in and let him play. Do not sit him. I think he's too good. He's just too good. I know he was cold, but he's back. He's back, baby.
I know this is a Reds show, but since we did just talk about around the division, the Pirates start I think it's a 4-game series against the Braves, and they just tied it up in the 6th inning, 3-3.
Ooh, wow.
Yep. Pitcher of the week. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I think I'll get some people disagree with me, but it is I would say Jonathan India. Jonathan India is my pitcher of the week, and that's crazy. No, Luis Castillo. I mentioned it before, his velocity's back up. He went back to the changeup. Strikeouts are up. Swinging strikes are up. ERA is still ugly, but I mean that I will probably eat these words next week, but I truly feel like that was a turnaround game, and it's going to be good from here on out. And I really hope I'm right, and everyone should hope I'm right because
yeah. I'm not quite there yet, but yeah, I agree. I think I should think the same.
Yeah, and I agree with Clark. Fulmer is also not my pitcher of the week.
Not Fulmer. Yeah.
Fulmer, he's having a bad time. He's been put in a lot of bad situations too, but he's just not pitching very well.
All right. My main guy, I have an honorable mention as well. I don't have it in the notes, but my main pitcher of the week, TJ Antone. He's the closer I want, and he's the closer that we all deserve. So he comes in for game 3 against the Rockies, and he shuts it down. I just love the guy, man. I can't go. He does not do wrong. He's my Justin's Tyler Mahle. So ooh. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me like it came back to bite him today. But he's just great, man. I want him to get more. And if he doesn't, he's a closer. I think he can do it all. I think he's the guy. So TJ Antone, hats off to you. My honorable mention, Alex Blandino throwing 90 miles an hour. We just gotta, it's our tip of the cap to Alex Blandino since we weren't at the stadium. Congratulations, sir. That was just fantastic. Even when we're getting beat 19-4, we got to cheer that on. So, Justin, biggest surprise for the week?
The infield. I know we just talked about it again. I feel like all of my picks have been things I've talked about already, but just seeing Stevenson at first and seeing Senzel kind of all over the place, I just really like it. I do also. I like the commitment as far as it's short. I was afraid that they were going to keep him at third and bump India back to AAA.
Yeah.
At the moment, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but it's probably just due to injury when Moose and Votto come back. I mean, who knows? All bets are off.
Right.
But I do like that, although at the end of the day, this all still comes down to Castellini not trading for or signing a shortstop. There were plenty on the market, and we got 0.
Yep. We'll see. That'll be a very hard thing to stomach depending on what way it goes. But my biggest surprise is the absolute walloping that they took from the Giants after the 3 losses that we took prior, being very close games, and to get beat 19-4. I just was not expecting that. I know we've talked about it. It was obviously a big surprise because it was just out of nowhere. If you hear any
4-game sweep,
if you hear anything in the background, I apologize. My dog walked in, and you can't see his little tail back there, but he was just rolling around and making noises. So if anybody hears my dog, I apologize.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, good. So just ignore I said that. But yeah, we got absolutely stomped. So I was not expecting that. That's my biggest surprise. So,
Clark's daughter has jumped in.
Ooh.
And she says, yeah, it's okay if the Filthy Cubs beat the Dead Birds to help the Reds.
All right. That's what we're talking about.
Thank you for your blessing. And I will root for the Cubs to beat the Redbirds, and then I'll root for whoever's playing the Cubs after that.
Yes.
Playing against the Cubs. So, yes. All right. So let's look ahead. 3 games against the Brewers at home, starting tomorrow. And then they go and face the Nationals in Washington for 4 games. So we try to make predictions about how they're going to do. Right, the Brewers are 4-6 over their last 10. Washington's 4-6 over their 4-6 over their last 10. So neither one have a winning record. Neither do the Reds.
Right.
So the optimist in me, and I've been Clark's daughter. I assume that's still his daughter. Says, "Okay, good,
Yes.
and thanks for the shirt. You're welcome. Hope you like it, and we hope you
wear
put
proudly.
those Cubs fans in their place." Let's see here. I lost my thought. Oh yeah. So the optimist in me, and I've been pretty optimistic all year, but that beating today, it's a real shame that beating happened on show day because I'm really negative right now. So the optimist in me before the beating said that the Reds would win 2 against the Brewers and 2 against the Nationals. Realistically, they could lose all 7 games. Do I think they will? No. But I could see them losing 7 or losing all 7, losing 6, losing 5. I could definitely see it being a losing record over the next 2 series, which sucks. And I think I'm a broken man now.
Don't worry, all you other Reds fans and Better Off Reds fans. As Clark's daughter says, her shirt really bothers the Cubs fans in her class, and that's exactly why we sent it.
Yeah, that's exactly why you have it.
Yeah,
and wear it with pride.
Yes.
Tell him who's boss. The Reds, I think sometimes.
But like I said, Reds fans and Better Off Reds fans, I got your back.
I lost my cap.
Justin lost his cap, but I got your back. The optimism is alive and well in the better half of the Better Off Reds duo. I originally said 3 against the Brewers, but I'm gonna take that down 1. 2 against the Brewers because we need the wins in the division. So take the series in the division, and then that's going to light the spark, and we are going to absolutely go ham on the Nationals for 4 out of 4 games. You heard it here first. 4 out of 4 against the Nationals. We take a 7-game 2 series and turn to a 6 out of 7, and we're back, baby. We're back. We get that. We're back in it.
You said that they would take all 4 against the Rockies and that they would split the series with the Giants. Oh, no, you said they would split with the Giants. So your track record.
It's okay. I'm gonna hit one of these days, and I'm gonna be rich.
Clark's daughter says she will have her dad send me a new cap. I got it. I found it. It just fell on the floor. I was afraid though because I have like all these electronics in front of me for the show, and I was like, I can't have a water bottle without a lid. We're good though. All right. So I was optimistic pre-game 4 today. Not so much now. Portland is optimistic.
Yes,
all the time.
Always optimistic.
All the time. How happy are you right now, knowing you're about to go on summer break?
Oh, I am very happy. I actually have a quote hanging on the board in my classroom. It says that the pessimist sees the difficulty in the situation, and an optimist sees the opportunity in a situation. So
okay.
I spread this to my students as well. So if you ask any of them how many games the Reds are going to win, they'd probably say every game of the season.
What are you hitting? Are you hitting your mic?
That was dropping the hammer.
Oh, it like made this like metallic sound. So you're about to go on summer break, and you're about to have the whole summer off. How many Reds games are you going to go to? You're going to take your wife and your new baby. How many are you going to go
to? I think my goal was to maybe planned out wise, maybe 3 or 4.
Nice, dude. Go weekdays. Tickets are cheaper, and now they're going back to full capacity.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm telling you, we took Owen when he was a baby. It was full, like obviously it was full capacity before COVID, but it's very just crappy trying to get a stroller through there, and also just navigating with a brand new baby with a huge crowd. Clark's daughter says your students are fans. Yes, and I agree. Yes. You told me there's an upcoming show day that you're going to be maybe under the influence of some anesthesia.
Oh yeah, June 10th. I'm actually going to call tomorrow and see if they can get me in earlier because I was absolutely feeling like I got hit in the face with a bat today. Yeah. So I have a. I'm trying to think of a good thing to give you an idea. It's like an eraser-sized hole in one of my what are they called, wisdom teeth. Yeah. So that's why I'm getting them out, and the nerve's exposed, and it hurts really bad.
Ouch,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, it hurts really bad. I had to take
hearing that.
a lot of ibuprofen before the show because I couldn't talk without put it in my mouth like this and chewing on my gum. Sorry, I'm working on something.
That's what Clark is saying.
Take over. She did great, Clark.
Yeah, she did great. She's welcome anytime. Yeah. Yeah. So if you stick with it on show day, I think you need to still record the show that night.
I'll try
on anesthesia.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. If you think Cortland, I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you think Cortland should do the show,
should make a poll.
I will. I'll put it on Twitter. Yeah, and Facebook. I'll do 2 polls. Actually, I don't know if you can do polls on Facebook pages, only groups, which is I don't understand that at all.
You can share it on Facebook.
I can put like for yes, heart for no. I don't want to do that. All right. Let's see. Clark says I'm raising her to talk crap. She already hates Manfred. You're doing a great job, Clark. Great job. All right. Well, I believe that wraps up episode 9. We're about to hit the big 1-0.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully
we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate at least 6 out of 7, maybe 7 out of 7. We'll see. Maybe. This is going to be a great next week, everybody.
You know, I'm going to take your quote and I'm going to take it to heart. It's going to be a great week. Yes. I swear to God. If it's not, I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to play. It was a great week and have it stop like in the gray and like a narrator, but it wasn't. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It was another good show. Yeah. You all made it great, even though the Reds tried their best to not make it great. So
we know you're all in pain, and we appreciate you coming out.
Yeah. And as always, please like and follow us on social media. Better Off Reds or Better Reds Pod on Twitter. Like us or subscribe to us on YouTube. That really helps. And leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Yes. Subscribe, share us with your friends. Do all of the good stuff, please. We would appreciate that. Yeah. Cortland, you have anything you want to add?
Thanks. Keep it up. We love it. We love you guys. It's awesome. We have so much fun doing it. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Go Reds.
Go Reds.